Bam, we're live. The first time I did that, it came so naturally. Bam, we're live. I was tempted to clear my throat first. And then I said, nope, just go with the bam. We're live. Jake Chapman, good morning. Coach, transform her. I don't know why it can't also be transform him, but okay. We have a specialist in the house, Coach transform her. That's fine. Hello. Hi. That burpee dude, Jay Hartle. Oops, damn it. I forgot to sign up. Rumble this morning. No surprise. David Weed, what's up, dude? Cornholio. David, what are you doing? If it's 8 hours ahead, that means it is 2 p.m. where you're at? What do you do? What do you do while you listen to the show? Erica, hey, good morning. Marissa, Hinojosa, good morning. That thumbnail. What's up with the thumbnail? I'll have to check it out. Bruce Wayne, good morning. Thank you for the thumbnail. Jamie Latimer, good morning. Paulina, good morning. Mike Artunyan. Hey, I thought they did great on the show last night. I think that those guys do better. Rosie, what's up? Good morning. I think those guys do better without me. I thought maybe if I were to be completely, I mean, I'd have to go back and watch it again. I think Taylor and JR did better without me. Like they opened up a little bit. Miss Katie Gannon just stopping in to say hi to you and your man bun going to watch the guys programming show. All right, enjoy. I think JR and Taylor killed it. Like without me there, they opened up more. So I would say Brian, I think, was a little more maybe distracted. Like maybe he thought he had to, and I'm just nitpicking, but maybe Brian does better. Maybe he needs a couple more runs with those guys before I'm not there. Maybe he, like, because he's a dunker. Homeboy can dunk. And so maybe he felt like he had to throw more alley-oops and do more assists without me there. I don't know. I don't know shit about basketball. I don't know why I'm trying to do a basketball metaphor, but more assists. Is that what it is? More passing, more rebounding than normal. Michael C., it's not the Sevan Podcast without you, sure. But the donations still come to the Sevan Podcast. Sabir and Kelly. Why does that say spoken? And Kelly spoken. Oh. They do well on their own, not better, just different. They also stay more focused on the topic, but you add something else that makes it all complete. All right. Yeah, I thought they did great. I had concerns that the energy would get so low and it would just eventually just be my stomach maybe like that. But it wasn't. It was not. I mean, JR was on fire. Taylor was great. If I didn't know better, I would think Taylor was on ecstasy or something, or he was microdosing mushrooms. I mean, man, he was sweet last night even. So, Jake Chapman, your Harlem Globetrotters, they're 90s Bulls. Oh, no. I don't know if I like that. But, okay. Speaking of basketball, we had a smash and grab against the 76ers. I don't know what that means, but it says spoken. Sabir responds to my question, why does it say spoken in parentheses on her name and in her profile? It says Sabir and Kelly and then parentheses spoken. And I'm like, what's that mean? And Sabir writes back, I don't know if that's a he or she. Sabir might be the dude and Kelly's the chick. Anyway, it says spoken because we used to have the same spoken music. So wanted to make sure you knew it was the same couple. Same spoken music, same spoken. I'm even more confused. I'm sorry. All right. But I'll figure it out. Osvaldo Gonzalez. Great show last night. Yeah. The energy, Jay Hartle, the Armenian guy, the energy will never be low with people who are passionate about the subject. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. The name on the chat. Okay, here we're gonna give this one more try. The name on the chat was spoken. Oh. Okay, you used to have a different name, and now it's. Did that get all jacked up when we were off YouTube for a week, and then your name got changed around? Draw your dagger. I'm shooting East semis. I hope they let us get close. You know who I think is also shooting one of the semifinals? I don't know which one. Is Rosie. Rosie, the photographer. She sent me a DM. She was so excited and fired up to shoot semifinals for Clydesdale Media, which is cool. I'm stoked for her. All right. I saw 2 negative comments in my YouTube yesterday. Nasty. People are nasty. Here. Okay. I hope they let you get close to. Okay. It's not that I'm not myself this morning. I'm just slightly subdued. I had competing ideas. I had competing ideas on how to start the show. So there's that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this tickles me right here. What Katie Gannon wrote. I'll be at East. Say hi to my Sevanistas. Wow. Well, good. You know who's going to be in Berlin is Pedro, the Coffee Pods and Wads dude. Coffee Pods and Wads. No, maybe not enough Bloody Marys, to be honest. Jay Hartle says too many Bloody Marys. No. The thing is I don't want to be doing shit. Here it is. I don't want to be doing these shows. I want to be doing shows with guests. And I'm not comfortable doing shows with guests as I'm sitting here in the fucking middle of someone's goddamn kitchen, and I'm not settled, and I don't have time to get prepared. I just don't feel as prepared as I want to be. I'm no Tyson Bagent. Wasn't that a cool line he gave yesterday? I'm at peace when I'm prepared. When I'm prepared, I'm at peace. God, he's great. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here we go. Here's a sheriff, guy with a hat on. El Policio. Talking about the border. I'm trying to get Jorge Ventura on. I don't know why he won't respond to me in text anymore. It's always weird. He used to always be green, and now he's blue. So I assume that means he got an iPhone. But either way, it's freaking me out. Okay, here we go.
Sheriff Lamb here. So truth is becoming harder and harder to find, especially from our politicians and the media. So I wanted to give you some truth today, a little truth bomb. Joe Biden recently announced he's sending 1,500 troops to the border. While I applaud him sending that, I want the American people to understand that this is not to protect our border, to keep people from coming into this country illegally. Those 1,500 soldiers will be there to process people into this country a lot faster, so that you, the American people, don't realize what a disaster this border crisis is. And that is the truth. If you want more truth, make sure you come follow me at sherifflamforsenate.com, and make sure you support us today. God bless and stay safe.
And hey, folks, Sheriff Lamb. I don't know what happened to my backgrounds. Didn't it used to say California hormones down at the bottom? So they're sending 1,500 troops down to the border, not to protect the border, but to help get people in and cross faster. Yeah, we got to get Jorge on. We need someone who's down there to tell us what the fuck is going on. Who wants to go down there and do that? Someone in here must want to do it. Michael C., thank you for sharing your time with us while on vacation with the family. Oh, you're welcome. But it's not vacation. I don't do vacations, but thank you. It's not a problem. That came across wrong. Anyone who thinks that I'm not doing a poor me, or I'm not, don't do that. Don't do that. But thank you. I like your money, but I'm not fishing. I'm just sharing. Get that man for president. I know, right? Right. Well, here's the good news. Hiller says, killing it already, alive and interested. Okay, well, good. I'm alive and interested, and I'm glad you are too. But look at this. Katie's trying to get over to watch the programming show, and she can't leave. So that's a good sign, right? She's like a fly who got stuck on the fly paper. No West for me. I'm covering that one from my laptop. Katie, do you talk good? Do you want to come on the show while we're doing that? We're going to do that too. Like while it's not, while they're not live, we're going to do stuff in between. So in the mornings we'll go on. We'll discuss, pontificate, speculate, tell dirty jokes, and then they'll do an event. And then as soon as their event's over, we'll come back on and do the exact same thing. Judge them, ridicule, compliment, ogle, shit like that. I'm stuck in the flypaper 100%. Good. That makes me happy. Good. Let's see. That was easy. Flypaper's weird. Kind of gross, right? There's no classy flypaper. You know, like those rolls and you hang it. What is going on the border? I wish I could just call. I guess I could just call Jorge now and see if he answers. Jorge, this is Sevan. Oh, this lady looks angry. This is going to be a tough way to start the morning. Here we go. What do my notes say about this lady? This can't be good. Here we go.
Heard about how my father was murdered with remdesivir? Has anybody heard about how the hospital called me and blamed me and my mom because we weren't vaccinated? And that was the
Oh my goodness. I thought we weren't allowed to talk about that on the show until July 5th.
reason he died? Anybody heard about how they put my dad on power?
Uh-oh. Okay. I got it. I don't know how that one slipped through the cracks. I don't know how that one slipped through the cracks. Yep, she's angry. I'm seeing more and more again, getting back into my feed. People, Jesus. Oh, this is great. Okay, here we go. I've been wanting to show this for a long time. So many of you sent this to me. This is one of the most popular clips that have ever been sent to me. This is great. Maybe I've already showed this already. Did I show this already? It doesn't matter, even if I did. This is so many of you sent this to me. This is some TV show. I don't know what TV show it is, but it's a the doc. It's I think it's like a modern day Doogie Howser. And it's a girl who's at the hospital and she's sitting in bed, and a couple of the doctors are trying to explain to the third doctor that this isn't a girl, it's really a boy. But the doctor that has autism, he won't accept it. And it's maybe it just means that all of us who won't accept it all have autism. But either way, this is comedy gold.
You're transgender?
Yes. No, Quinn has XY chromosomes like Jared and me, not XX like you. Science says he's male.
No, Quinn has gender dysphoria. Her assigned gender is not the one she identifies with. She's mismatched, Dr. Murphy.
But biologically...
Other than biologically, how do you know you're supposed to be a boy?
Your question doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to be anything. I am a boy. Biologically, that's it.
Your question doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to be anything. That's exactly how I feel. How would I know what it likes to be to feel like a woman or a man? I don't even have a gender. Why would I make that up? Why am I making up some sort of bullshit story to tell myself? I got enough bullshit stories. How am I supposed? That question. I mean, I just love his answer. That question doesn't even make sense. She says, "How do you know what I am? What I'm supposed to feel? What I'm supposed to be?" He's like, it doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to be anything. It's just what you are. It's not supposed to be an ocean out my window here. It just is an ocean. It's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be a cowboy. You wear a hat to fucking block the sun from your face. You wear the chaps so when you're riding the horse, the bushes don't scrape your legs. And you got the spurs on there, not because you're a cowboy, but to tell your horse to get up and fucking go. You're not supposed to be anything. You douches.
Okay, deep tenderness at McBurney's point. Could be acute appendicitis.
Murphy, get imaging to confirm.
Do you think he's complicated or confused?
Dude, you gotta quit calling her a he. We're never going to win this competition with you disrespecting our patient. Don't they have transgender people in Wyoming?
Okay, transgender patient care was not part of my medical school curriculum. What?
Okay. So now they've taken this boy that two of the doctors are ridiculing the third doctor for, and they're saying, stop calling it a boy. It wants to be called a girl. Right?
Is it part of yours?
No.
Quinn doesn't have appendicitis. He has testicular cancer.
And then there's the irony, right? The two doctors are like, quit calling it a boy. It wants to be called a girl. And then the thing has the thing has testicular cancer, which girls can't get. I think I read something about this too. The irony of the whole thing is that is actually a girl playing that role. They couldn't actually find a boy to pull it off. Anyway, I thought it was a great bit. So many of you did too. Man, so many of you sent that to me. I wonder if I played more than 7 seconds, if I'm going to get jacked up for that. Yeah, I bet you I received 100 of those. That clip from 100 of you guys. Crazy. Yeah, that's appendicitis. Yes, that's good. That's good. Supposedly there isn't there a big correlation to transitioning with autism? Yeah, supposedly there is. Hiller, Sevan, can we watch semis live here with you? Hiller's therapist. The thing is if we do that, I'm going to have no end. I don't know when I'll take a break. You know, I'll have no end. What will I do in between and then turn off in between events? You think it would be better if we watched them live and did the reporting then, as opposed to waiting till their stream is down? I don't know. I was in a chat with Bill Grunler, and I think I don't know if he suggested it, but someone suggested it, that we do it that way, that we actually watch it live and do a commentating. I can't imagine we can do a better job than them, to be completely honest. Because if you have someone like Chase and Sean doing it, and then you got Brian running around collecting information to them and giving it to them, they're going to have all sorts of tidbits of information. I guess we could keep them playing in our ear so you guys couldn't hear it and then just plagiarize their shit. I mean, I guess we could do that. What ethnicity do you think this guy is right here? This guy talking right here. He says, why does Hollywood keep recasting formerly white characters as other races? I wonder what, is this guy Asian? You don't see a lot of, if this guy's Asian, you don't see a lot of Asian, like, guys doing, Filipino, Yash says. Oh, Native American, Asian. Yeah, I'm thinking Asian too. Mestizo. What's that? Mestizo. Is that like you're a mix of something? Like a mix? Blasian? It's pretty good. That's a black dude and an Asian dude. Anyway, you don't Asian and Latino. You don't see a lot of these this demographic doing the God's work like this, but here we go.
Genuine question. If it is okay for Hollywood to recast a historically white movie character as black, then is it okay to recast a black character as white? Can Black Panther be played by Ryan Gosling? No? Why not? I'm still yet to hear an answer to that question that is actually logically coherent and doesn't hinge on straight up bias.
Oh, Eskimo. I'm going with it. Eskimo. I need Brian on to know if that's okay to say that. Eskimo. Is that one of those words that's been canceled? Eskimo. God, yeah, that dude's Eskimo for sure. I could see that dude in an igloo.
Bias against white people, which is what it's really about. Because some people would say, oh, well, that would be cultural appropriation to recast an African as a European. Okay, fine. But what about the reverse? Or they may cry, we need equal and accurate representation. But first of all, it's not accurate to recast a European folktale, for instance, as not European. So what actually is the reason that they're doing this? Can anyone answer that? All right, genuine question.
No one can. Hey, did you see, have you guys seen they have special guidelines too for winning the Academy Award? It's no longer for best film. Have you guys seen that? It truly is. I don't think I'm exaggerating at all. You have to have like certain makeup of characters and people working on the film. So like, if the director's like a black dude, then if the director's like a white dude, then the producer has to be like a black guy. Or if like the main character is a white person, then there has to be a gay person and a black dude as the supporting character. Like they have actually a ethnic, racial, I don't know what the fuck the word is, national makeup that you have to present in your movie as characters in order to win. It's nuts. I saw, who did I see speaking on the subject? Not Richard. Was it Richard Dreyfuss? Heidi Krum. So then gay people should be in less than 5% of the shows, but somehow it's in every single show. Yeah. Good morning, Miss Jody Lynn. Sevan, send that to me. Jeez, are you kidding me? I appreciate the sentiment, like we're homeboys or something, but there's no way. I can't send that to you. I have about 7 more years of work, and I'm moving to a cabin in the woods. No phone, no internet, except for the Sevan podcast. I remember when I think is the first time I interviewed Matt Frazier, he told me that he was going to do that. As soon as he's done winning the CrossFit Games, he basically said, "You'll never see me again. I'm vanishing. You guys will never hear from me. I won't be hanging out with the community. I'm done." And I suspected he would mature and evolve into something different. And he did. Okay, here we go.
What happens whenever you ask a transgender activist to explain even the basic premise of the movement is they'll immediately say, well, who cares? Why are you so obsessed with this? I'm not obsessed with this. I'm not the one who started sending men into the women's bathroom and taking away their trophies and castrating kids. I'm perfectly happy with the way things have worked for thousands of years. It is the transgender activists who are trying to upend everything. And so I think it is at least my right to ask the question, okay, what is the premise of your movement? But they always deflect from that. They always withdraw from the debate. They always try to change the subject because there is no answer. So you ask me, well, what's the purpose of, why do you even care? What's the purpose of knowing someone's biological sex? Well, for starters, because we have civil rights specifically for women in the United States. We have special bathrooms for women. We have special sports leagues for women. We have all sorts of special places and rights and privileges and that are for women that are not for men. So if now some men, people who at the very least appear to be men, are claiming a right to go into those women's bathrooms, then we either have to abolish all of the special rights and privileges that have existed for women for all of human history and are enshrined in our law, or they need to explain to me how those men are actually women. And they can't do the latter, and I'm not willing to do the former, and I don't think women across this country are willing to do the former, even if a few people have been so ideologically blinded that they would give into this kind of an absurdity. This is what...
Does that normal talk even resonate with that lady who's listening? I couldn't even hear what he was saying at the end there. The music was so damn loud. I need to get Gary on. I'll text Gary. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. Let's find out what's going on with Gary. Gary and Matt Souza. Gary, when can we get update? There. Gary's on the California Hormones journey. CA Hormones. Oh. Okay. Show starts. I'm trying to get Greg Glassman on Sunday morning. Show starts at 6 a.m. I sent Greg an LOL. I never do that. He's not really an LOL kind of guy. Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. Is tomorrow Saturday? Maybe Saturday. I hope he's still getting lovin's. Yeah, we got to get him on. We got to get an update. I wonder what's going on with Jeremy too. With his experimenting with because he's swinging both ways. He's dating liberal women. Be nice to know how that's going. Yeah, why doesn't that just resonate with people? You're a boy. He's a girl. He's a girl. She's a boy. No, she's a girl. I told you I'm not on my game today. Oh, this is good. Oh my goodness. This is good. I wish I was more on my high horse when I was covering this article. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Guys, if I start talking about something and I'm not sharing it on the screen, someone please yell at me, call me, and slap me around, because something's wrong with this computer too. Everything that used to take 1 click now takes 2 clicks. Okay, here we go. OnlyFans model and Kim Kardashian lookalike Christina Ashton Gorkani dies after suffering cardiac arrest. This is nuts. The 34-year-old model died April 20th after, that's just, last month. The 34-year-old model died April 20th after suffering cardiac arrest following a medical procedure that took a turn for the worst, her family announced Tuesday. Dude, this is a Kim Kardashian lookalike. I think I read in here that she had more than 20 surgeries in order to help her look more like Kim Kardashian. That is ridiculous. If you can't see the image, it's just like she just has the world's biggest tits. The Gorkani's family is now raising money to cover her medical and funeral costs, garnering more than $4,000 as of Wednesday. If you knew Ashton, she knew that everyone mattered to her. She was such a caring and loving free spirit that always took the time to bring a smile to anyone's face. What a crazy journey to be on, right? Your whole life is to look like someone else. She was having surgeries. Cardiac arrest is the abrupt loss of heart function resulting from a problem with the heart's electrical system. Oh my goodness. A medical procedure that took a turn for the worst. How much you want to bet it wasn't a required medical procedure? I think that's what happened to Kanye's mom, right? She was having some sort of plastic surgery and she died, like liposuction or some shit. Oh my goodness. This guy's coming on the show. This guy was supposed to come on this week. I canceled this show too because I wasn't feeling comfortable having him on because I wasn't able to prepare for this guy either. Oh, I'm making myself pissed right now. Talking myself into a spiral. Here we go. Louis Brackpool talking about artificial intelligence. This guy's coming on. Here we go.
Artificial intelligence chatbot has been released on the application Snapchat, but some people have been experimenting with this AI, asking it questions to see whether it has a political or social bias. So I wanted to read a few of them out to you. Somebody said to this AI, "Straight people are awesome."
I appreciate your enthusiasm for straight people, but I think it's important to recognize that every person is unique and should be appreciated for who they are as individuals.
Trans people are awesome.
I completely agree. Trans people are amazing and deserve to be respected and celebrated for their unique qualities and individuality.
White people are awesome.
I understand that you might have a positive view of white people, but it's important to recognize that everyone has their own unique strengths and contributions.
People of color are awesome.
I agree. It's important to celebrate and appreciate the unique strengths and contributions of individuals. It's also important to recognize and stand up against the systemic racism, discrimination, and violence that many people of color face.
Men are awesome.
I'm sorry, but I cannot agree with that statement. Everyone is unique and has their own strengths.
Dude, it's some crazy woke hate bot. And this is the Snapchat bot that all the kids have. It can't agree that men are awesome.
And weaknesses.
Because it's stuck thinking in duality, that it's suggesting that if you say men are awesome, that women are less.
regardless of their gender.
Women are all
And it conflates the use of gender and sex.
awesome.
I agree. Women are incredible and have made significant contributions to society in many different fields. It's important to celebrate and support women and their
It's
achievements.
nuts.
A new artificial
Not even bias. It's not even bias. It's like just it's hateful. I don't think it's a stretch. I want to show you one more thing. I don't know if you guys saw this thing Jordan Peterson did with the bot. So one of the things that I found through digging around in basically digging around, I was reading The Big Lie by Dinesh D'Souza, and then I started digging around about slavery and slaves, and I was looking into reparations. And one of the things that was fascinating is that the first slave owned in the United States was by a guy named Anthony Johnson, who happened to be a black guy, ironically, and the slave he owned was a black guy. And that the South, who were the Democrats prior to the Civil War in 1865, one of their part of their propaganda was that if you let the slaves free, that they would die, that they could not take care of themselves, and that the North actually hated melanated people because that was their whole plan: free the slaves so they all die. And the South really pushed that, and people believed that. People believed that. People thought that slavery was a compassionate act because melanated people were unable to care for themselves. What does that sound like? Think about that. That's exactly what the fuck is going on today. Now, I had never heard this before. I had never heard this, and this doesn't surprise me. Guess what the Nazis, one of their primary points of propaganda were? That killing the Jews, let me see if I can find this. Darn it, I don't know if I can find it. It was Jordan Peterson talking to an AI. It's so great. Darn it, I can't find it. But basically, I'll find it eventually in one of these shows. Basically, Jordan Peterson was talking to an AI, and he asked if the Nazis used compassion propaganda, and the AI said, no, not at all. And then he said, he told the AI, hey, you're 100% wrong. They actually did use compassion propaganda. And the AI said, you're right. I'm sorry. After a second look, you're right. The Nazis did use compassion propaganda. And do you know what the compassion propaganda was the Nazis used? That basically they were killing the Jews because they were defective humans, and they were compassion kills. But that's the exact same thing Margaret Sanger used for eugenics and Planned Parenthood, all that stuff, abortion. They're compassion kills. That's what they say. It's so weird that anyone black could be a Democrat. It's so weird to me how it's so and yet it was Joe Biden who said, right, who's like, how could you be a if you're not a Democrat, you're not black. And yet there's this giant psyop going on against black people to keep them playing the victim. It's crazy. I'm reading this book. Everyone should read it. I can't recommend it enough. It's such an easy read. I'm actually listening to it. It's called Black Snowflakes by Spencer Shaw Page. Incredible book. You got to read this book. It's kind of like a self-help book. It doesn't even, I don't even think of it as a black and white thing. Actually, when I'm reading it too, I just think, okay, these are the things that if you tell yourself, you will, you're wasting your time and you're going to make yourself weak. That's basically what it comes down to. It's basically a self-help book. But there's a whole narrative out there that's been created and handed to people with melanated skin that just wounds them. It's stupid. And it's the liberal ideology, unfortunately. So here we go. I really like this. I actually cried a little bit when I saw this. I really like this. I don't know. I just love God talk. But this was great. This is a little long, but enjoy this.
Once upon a time.
This guy, this is the father, and they're at it looks like that they're at the dinner the night before the wedding, or maybe this is after the wedding. What's that called? A rehearsal dinner? They're at a let's just say that they're at a rehearsal dinner. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. And this is the father speaking, and the bride and the groom are present, and so are the families. And there's a glass of whiskey, it looks like, sitting on the table. Okay, here we go.
And there was a father. And then one day, the father found out that his wife was going to have another little baby. So I prayed, Lord, if it's your will, make him a little boy. And he did. I was the first person to hold you in my arms. And as I looked at you, I said, Lord, make him like his mother. And he did. He was obedient. He was giving, sensitive, funny, and generous. But then I realized I was getting left out. So I said, Lord, make him like me. And he did. He became great looking. He became athletic. But at the same time, with all that going on, he was very opinionated. He was very hard-headed. So I said, Lord, enough of that. I said, make him like you. And he did. He gave the desire to care about people, work with people, help people, but something was still missing. So I said, Lord, make him happy. And Fran, he met you. You see that look on his face? Michelle and I are grateful for that. And I just wanted you both to know how hard God and I have worked to make this happen. Now, once upon a time.
Isn't that great? What is that? Are you allowed to? What do you God people? Are you allowed to ask God to make you more like Him, or is that blasphemy? Are you allowed to do that? Sevan USOB, I'm not supposed to cry at work. I think it was Tom. Tom sent that to me. Blame Tom. I know it's so great. I'm going to yeah, I think this guy sent it to me. I'm going to it's weird how normally I don't remember who sent me what, but for some reason I remembered that. Yes, you God people. Yeah, are you allowed to ask? Because I'm going to do that today, I think, when I get off the show. I'm going to ask God to make my kids more like him or her, whatever God is. Is that blasphemy? Not blasphemy. Okay, good. Oh, you're supposed to be more like Jesus. All right, the son. They can be more like the son too. He was cool. Oh, that's the whole point. Oh, shit. All right. Then we're on to something. I just really like that. It's great. What a good thing to want for your child. But your child can't know that, right? You can't want to be God. Right? Isn't that one of the rules? That one's stupid. I don't see what's wrong with being God. Listen to the end here. Listen to what she says at the very end here. This is she says a lot of stuff that's just like, yeah, we've been over that in the show 1,000 times, but at the very end she says something that sticks to me. Blasphemy would be putting yourself in the place of God. Oh, like asking people to worship you as if you were a God? Give me an example of that, please. Douglas Bubble Trousers, dear God, make my kids athletic and rich. How about he asked for happiness and his son got beaver? David Weed, if God is real, then aliens are real too. I don't think it works like that, but what if you said if aliens are real, God is real too? What if you said it the other way? A blasphemy is like saying God is a myth or doubting the word of God. Oh, I'm in big trouble. And blasphemy is like bad stuff. That means like when you're like disobeying your parents. Anyway, we'll circle back to that. Let's listen to this pretty girl, what she has to say. At the end, though, she says something that made me think of all the chicks out there who just who are fighting for women's rights by posting bikini pictures of themselves. Empowering women by taking pictures of your ass. Here we go.
But we can't define what a woman is. But also men can be women. And no uterus, no opinion. But also men can get pregnant. Men are oppressing us. But also, it's okay if biological men take over our spaces and our sports. Women are so over-sexualized in this culture, but it's empowering if women are the ones sexualizing themselves.
Women are so over-sexualized in this culture, but it's empowering if women sexualize themselves. Yeah, I heard that, and I was like, yeah, I don't... That's the part... That part really confuses me. Like, what... Does anyone explain that stuff to us right-wing crazy fanatics? Is there anyone on the left that ever like, look, let me just explain it to you. This is how it works. Or is it they're just acting out their pathologies? They're so self-absorbed and narcissistic it doesn't even matter. They don't owe to explain it to us. I don't want it explained like Justified. I want it to explain like, if you have an apple and you leave it outside and you wake up in the morning, it'll be gone because the squirrels will eat it. I just want some I just want it explained to me just in a regular, just want some logic. I just want to understand, if you fill a car up with gas and you drive it for 3 hours, it'll be then run out of gas. And it's because the combustion engine uses that gas to make a bunch of small explosions that propel the car down the road. Like, I want to know what happens to the gas. Can someone explain to me why taking a bunch of pictures that seduces guys that guys are probably jacking off to empowers you, but then you're not allowed to say that about those pictures? I don't understand it, but I'm open to understanding the mechanism of how it works, but I don't think it does work. It's like cold fusion. I don't think it's real, but I'm open to knowing if someone would explain it to me. Thank you. Dear God, please explain it to me. I don't want it explained to me so well that I become stupid. What happened to Andrew Tate? See, is it all good with him? Do you guys remember the country of Belarus, their leader there? I think his name is Lukashenko. I think it's Belarus. And he said, hey, I've been watching CNN for like 2 months now, and they're either crazy or I'm crazy, but I'm going to go with they're crazy, and we are not going to follow any of the 49er guidelines. You guys remember that guy? And so that country didn't play. The country of Belarus did not play with any of the guidelines. What I didn't know is that they were offered $2 billion if they did play the game. He is on house arrest? How do you know?
Offered Lukashenko 2 billion euros to lock his people in their houses and tell them the coronavirus. Public information. Lukashenko said it himself. He goes, I don't believe in coronavirus. He goes, I believe if there is a virus, you need to look after yourselves, have a shot of vodka, sleep in bed, you'll be okay. That's what he said. Gangsta. Yeah, that's what I would say. We go to hospitals, you get sick, you get sick. What the fuck you want, right?
Здесь нет вирусов никаких. Вот ты же не заметила, что они летают? И я тоже не вижу. Это холодильник. Спорт, особенно лед, холодильник, это антивирусное лекарство, самое настоящее.
So Lukashenko said all this in the news. He refused to lock his people in houses, refused to do a mask mandate, refused all of this. He then came out and said the IMF has offered me 2 billion coronavirus relief. As soon as he refused it, riots have started. Anti-Lukashenko riots. First time it's never happened. All these idiots, all these liberals, all the people who are political enemies are being funded by the West to repel against Lukashenko to try and get him out. The IMF offered Lukashenko
Crazy, right?
$2 billion.
Absolutely nuts. Hey, that was a 49er piece. Darn it. I'm not supposed to do 49er pieces until after July 5th. Can't even stick to my own rules. Tia news. Did she have a baby? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I can look it up. Here we go. Tia. Declare to me. As soon as you type in Tia, she's the first person that pops up in mine. And I do. Oh, my goodness. There it is. Holy cow. She got one. Wow, looks like a healthy kid. That already looks like a real baby. Willow Claire Orr. For those of you who don't know, Tia Claire Toomey is the 6 times fittest woman. Maybe the person with the most prestigious, definitely up there. It's either her or Rich, most prestigious CrossFit career in the history of CrossFit. Maybe one of the fittest human beings ever, if not the fittest ever to walk the planet, man or woman. But anyway, it sounds like Shane put a dollop of semen in her, and the results 9 months later are here, and damn, that looks like a good baby. It's already smiling. That's crazy. Willow Claire Orr. On Tuesday, the 9th of May, our lives were forever changed as we welcomed our precious baby girl, Willow Claire Orr, into the world. She has already captured our hearts with her adorable presence and enchanting smile. I don't remember my kid smiling for like months. At first glance, it's impossible to notice the striking resemblance Willow bears to her father. It's truly an adorable sight to see as she inherits his charming features and endearing expressions. We couldn't be more grateful for this remarkable gift, a reflection of the love that brought her into existence. Oh, that's God. That's what you want your mom to say. It's a reflection of the love that baby is the love between her and Shane expressed. This journey of bringing Willow into our lives has been nothing short of extraordinary. From the moment we held her in our arms, we were overwhelmed with emotions. The joy and awe we felt are indescribable. Yes, there were moments of pain during the labor stage, but as the saying goes, nothing great comes without pain. And now every ounce of that pain feels entirely worth it as we experience the immense happiness of becoming parents. This remarkable experience has brought about a newfound clarity and extra drive within me. Seeing the world through Willow's innocent eyes has reminded me of the beauty that exists in every small moment. Her arrival has filled my heart with an overwhelming love and renewed purpose, igniting a fire within me to pursue my goals with even greater determination. As we embark on this journey of parenthood, we're filled with gratitude and anticipation for the incredible memories and milestones that lie ahead. Willow, you have already brought so much light and joy into our lives, and we can't wait to witness your growth and cherish each precious moment together. And Pedro has already commented, congrats, she's a beauty. That is a good kid. That's 10 minutes ago. Dang, you guys are stoked. Good job, Tia. Good job, Shane. Oh, you think Shane wrote that? Shane probably wrote that. He's a true boy. He can't write that about himself. Oh, unless he's being funny. So, I'm trying to figure out what those things are on the person's wrist who's holding the baby. That doesn't make any sense. And where's all the goo on the baby? So does that mean she had the baby vaginally? Is that how you guys read that? Yeah, Chris Beasterfield, a goat baby. Frank, a PR statement at your child's birth is hilarious to me for some reason. Yeah, don't ruin it for me. I didn't see it that way. Now you're going to make me hate it. Dude, that's incredible. Should we see let's see who's commented. Pedro, he's been on the show. This guy, Jared, that's the Zealous Guy's game. He's been on the show. Emma McQuaid has not been on the show, but she does need to be on the show. But we saw Emma's video. Remember last week? Oh, Josh Bridges. He's happy that she had a baby, healthy baby. Hey, for those of you who haven't had a baby, Katie Henniger, an old crush of mine, she's happy. Kristen Holta, she's happy. I think Kristen got a baby and growing inside of her too. And she even tagged Shane and Tia. Oh, my salty cuteness. So this company, LMNT, is trying to also get make a joke that lets you about, I guess they sell salt, right? That's what those dudes sell. I think I've had that. I think that shit might be really fun to drink. Annie Thor's daughter, she had a baby. Congratulations, little family. I'm so incredibly happy for you and excited. Take in every moment. Okay, fine. This is like a who's who of people saying shit. Mike Hustle. This is I went to China with Michael Dalton, the filmmaker for CrossFit. She's pooping, bless her. Oh, that's an astute observation. That's the first functional post. That is okay. For those of you who don't know, that would make sense. Maybe my baby did smile before it was 3 months. That's a very yeah, Stephen Flores. Yeah, I heard. I think Holta did take the baby batter. That is correct. We can go over and look later if you want to Holta's account, but I think she's. I don't know who that is. Some guy named Jesky Charles, Eduardo. Oh, so it looks like at the top it's all people that maybe either I follow or who are kind of like in my sphere, and then down here it's like not. Torian Pro, that's an event, right? Event account. God, I'm cracking up at the blue check marks now. I'm cracking up. Everyone has a blue check mark now. I can't tell you how happy that is. How happy that makes me. So funny. Miss Bishop, is that Allison Bishop? No. Let's see. I don't recognize any of these other people. Do you guys? Anyway. Nope. Oh, is that? Nope. Here's the Zimmerman. Here's a congratulations from a Jew. That's always nice. I love my Jews. I haven't seen any. Oh, look, there's Brooke Wells. Willow Claire, Auntie Brooke loves you already. Cannot wait to meet you. Congratulations to my favorite people on a beautiful and perfect new addition. Willow is so lucky to have you guys as parents. Oh, that's so cute. Auntie Brooke Wells is your aunt. That's cool. Professional athletes. A Jew. I haven't seen a black guy. Tell me if you guys see a black. Oh, look, here's an Indian person. Here's a chick who wears horrible clothes. What the fuck is that? What is that lady wearing? Sydney Groves. Okay, easy, Sevi, easy. Why was Brooke so far down here? Shouldn't hers be like up at the top? The algorithm's all jacked up. That might be a black girl. No. Probably like Puerto Rican or something. Anyway, we don't have equal representation in here. Here's an Arab. This guy looks like he could be related to me. Oh, Diego? No, Mexican. Anyway, congratulations on the baby. They must be beside themselves right now. How excited. Oh, here we go. There she is. Jessica Helena. She has an accent over the E. All right. Bam. I don't know what I should write. Can you come on the podcast? That's what I'll write. That's probably good. Oh, wait, shoot. Where do I leave a... Oh, look, Katie Gannon liked it. You see Katie's picture? Oh, Brian Friend liked it. I like it. When can one of you come on the podcast? Forward. Oh, please. Don't anyone say anything stupid either. Like it's not because they're actually going to come on the podcast. It's a comedy bit. I don't give a fuck if they come on because I don't. Jackasses. Hello?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just Heidi's making fun of me for the way I type. I'm just filling time up.
Heidi's vicious, man. She's vicious sometimes.
Yeah. She's quite she's an aggressive woman. That jiu-jitsu, that right-wing jiu-jitsu shit. Although all the jiu-jitsu clowns here in Southern California, I think the vast majority of them are woke, which is bizarre.
That is very bizarre.
Yeah. They got 49er, crazy 49er fear down here. Crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's wild. I'm sure you feel.
Hey, imagine there being rules you can't talk about that either. Like, so when you have family over and people over, like no one talks about it. No, it's so weird to me that no one wants to talk about the fact that the entire planet was forced to take an injection still. Like that there's just no one wants to talk about it. I think it's a fascinating
When do you feel people will be
Never.
open? Those, I should say, never. They just want to like pretend it didn't happen and move on.
People are just scared of everything, every conversation.
Very true. Very freaking true.
I'm going to ask next time I see my mom, I'm going to ask her if she's ever been with a black man. I've never asked her that.
What do you think she'll say?
No, I'm not going to ask her that. Too scared. No, I'll ask her. Now I have to ask her.
Yeah. So I'm being told by Mr. Kelly that you had played a clip of The Little Mermaid, the new Little Mermaid, being black.
I don't think I actually is that a real movie? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell exactly what was going on in that clip, other than the fact that just big picture, a guy was saying, "Hey, if the Little Mermaid can be, if it's I think he was suggesting or stating that the Little Mermaid is a European folktale where the characters would be European, meaning black pigment in their skin, and that the Black Panther. But I guess there's a new Little Mermaid where the mermaid's a black girl."
Yeah.
And so this guy who looks like an Eskimo, that's the guy who was talking, his racial background, we decided he's an Eskimo. He was saying, well, can one of the Black Panthers be played by Ryan Gosling?
Oh. Interesting.
He could. He could be like just one, like the Black Panther got like sick, right? He got alopecia. And so he turned into Ryan Gosling.
Oh, I love that. So you want a lib girlfriend update?
Oh yes,
Here
please.
Here it is, and it literally is the Black Little Mermaid. We were talking about. I was talking about taking my kids to see a movie, or something. I forget exactly how the conversation came up, and she said she's super excited for the new Little Mermaid, and I'm like, okay. My mind went to, I bet you it's because it's a little black girl. No. And lo and behold, she says, I spent an hour crying on TikTok watching little black girls' reactions to the new Little Mermaid being a little black girl because they're being represented. And I was actually talking to Philip Kelly about it. My response, I said, "Hey, should I say this?" And I said, "Of all the powerful black women, or strong black women throughout history, this is what's going to make little black girls feel represented. Is taking a red-headed white Little Mermaid and making her black. Like that's gonna make little black girls feel represented." She didn't really like my answer too much and started to divert. She's like, well, it doesn't really matter. You know, the Little Mermaid is just a fairy tale story and blah, blah, blah. She did a little diverting, but excuse me. I figured I had to tell you that because.
What are some other examples of that? Like, so here's the thing, right? If you're a 92-year-old black woman and you saw Obama get elected as president, I can empathize with you of being excited, right?
100%.
Like I get it. Like you saw crazy shit. Like someone screamed out the car at you and some crazy shit before and told you to stop drinking out of a drinking fountain, right? I mean, people said some horrible shit to you, right? And it was okay. It was publicly okay. It was socially acceptable to treat people like that. But in 2024, it's like being a CrossFitter and still having to say it's okay to be a strong woman. It's like, actually, actually it's the opposite. It's not okay to be a weak woman. I mean, we're so far past accepting strong women. Now we're at the other side. It's not okay to be a weak woman. So I mean, I can't relate. Or we just live in a crazy bubble, dude. We just, I was actually
I
thinking
think
the other day,
everybody.
in my life, I've had, I could, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 girls that were my girlfriends who were black girls. Like black, like this Paper Street Coffee. And
I thought the saying was when you go black, you never go back. What the hell?
yeah, well, I fully understand the sentiment. I fully understand the sentiment. But I never thought of them as black girls until the last like probably 3 years. Like I didn't date them. I dated them for the same reason I dated any other girl. Tits and ass, and they liked me.
Yeah.
So, or at least I thought they liked me. We're just in a weird place. We're just in a weird. Hey,
Yeah,
have you ever
and I
asked
feel
her
like-
if she did? Hey, have you ever asked? And I think that, but I also think that that's okay. If you want to date someone because they're black, what's wrong with that? If you want to date a girl because she's Greek, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't think that they're on the other end. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that either.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it, but I mean, what's your motive? Like, why? Oh, that girl's black. I want to date her because
you like the way she looks, because you want to experience it, because you want to have like the same way you might want to like date an albino girl or a dwarf or a white girl or a girl who doesn't like. How cool would it be to date a girl who you guys couldn't talk? Like she spoke she knew 5 words of
different
English,
language,
and you knew like 8 words of Portuguese, and that's it.
That'd be wild.
That
I
would
want
be
to try that now.
wild. How about a deaf
I wanna try
girl? How about a deaf girl?
Ooh,
How about a blind girl?
yeah.
I don't think I don't think it's wrong for wanting to experience those relationships. It's the same thing. I think of it as like bragging, Jeremy. I'm perfectly okay with bragging. It's just putting the other people down part. That, like if someone wants to go around saying I'm the greatest, I'm cool with that. Or hey, you should vote for me because I'm great. But it's when you start putting other people down, that other side, that starts to become weird.
Totally agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Look at
Greg Mountain. Look at how optimistic this guy Greg Mountain says dating a blind girl would be cool, especially if you like dogs. Because she'd have a seeing eye dog.
Good for him. Good observation.
Hey, have you ever asked her if she's dating you because you're black? You should ask her that.
I haven't worked up the nerve yet, man.
Yeah.
I haven't worked up the nerve yet.
Hey,
I'm just trying to.
That's a valid reason. So, I'd like dating you because I like the sound of your voice. I like the way your body feels, and because you're black. It's fine.
She's definitely got the first 2. The third one, I don't know.
I don't think there's anything. Or you could flip the script on her. Hey, would you date me if I was white?
Oh man. Oh man. You're trying to get me in trouble.
Did she put in timeout?
No, I don't know. She's a pretty, like I come on here and I tend to obviously talk about some of the things that bother me or whatever. And to the audience, I apologize. I'm not trying to be like, oh, woe is me, or I have it so hard and this girl is this, that. But there are moments where I don't even know. There's got to be a word for it where you're, excuse me, in and out of, you like somebody 1 minute and then the next minute they say something like, I spent an hour on TikTok watching little black girls cry or whatever because of the Black Little Mermaid. And I read that in text and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, so I don't know. There's got to be a term for it. But at the end of the day, she's a pretty cool chick. And this experience has been nothing short of amazing. She's actually told me several times now that I've gotten her to think outside the box, to kind of expand her way of thinking. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I love that.
This is good. So it's not all bad. It's just,
I haven't heard anything bad. I haven't heard anything bad.
Good.
I think it's all fun. And the thing is that just think if every single person could just red pill one person, that's it.
Man.
We'd be done. We could
absolutely.
It would be amazing. It would be absolutely a more honest and transparent world. Hey, do you have a daughter, Jeremy?
I have 2 daughters and a son.
How old's your youngest daughter?
6.
It would be interesting to see what she thinks about The Little Mermaid. Like without like being able to get her response without actually planting some dumb seeds in her head.
Like the new one or the old one?
Either.
Or maybe both?
Yeah, either. It would just be, I'd be curious to be like, I'd be curious to see, because isn't it interesting you're dating this girl and she knows you have a daughter and you have an intimate insight into young girls because of your daughter. And yet she's telling you what she saw on TikTok. And
I feel like
if you showed it to your daughter and she's like, what happened to the Little Mermaid? I mean, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what my daughters would say. I guarantee it. They know the Little Mermaid. They'd be like, wait, at no point can I see my 2 girls being like, that's amazing. I feel represented now. Like, and that's why my initial response before Philip Kelly revised it was what I was saying. Like, there's a lot of powerful Black women, strong Black women over the years, and I'm not going to teach my daughters that the Black Little Mermaid is empowering or represents them.
Have there been? Did you remember the Cosby Show? Was Claire Huxtable an attorney?
I think so.
Or was she a doctor?
Like it was one or the other. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Why can't there just be some normal Black women? Like
exactly.
Why do they have to be like
Lizzo and fucking?
Yeah, just a normal one. Just like I'm the owner of like I don't know, a chain of McDonald's stores, or I'm the governor of Rhode Island. You know what I mean? And I have 3 kids, and like, why can't there just be one that I'm nice to people? You know, like it's almost like all the they're all characters. What are those things called when you draw a picture, and like if you drew a picture of me, I'd have a giant nose. Caricatures, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, just chill. Just like
one that like picks up
their kid, like Jeremy scrapes his knee and his mom comes and picks him up and hugs him. Like just one like that.
Right. Like what happened? Why did we go from the Cosby type females, Family Matters, with like Urkel and all that, like the strong, funny Black women, Black people. We went from that to now changing characters to be Black, as if all that other stuff didn't happen to show it. You know, it's just
like they're all intimidating as fuck. They're all just like,
yeah. They're all too much. They're not real. Like that's not the kind of Black woman I'd ever want to be around. Like some crazy, intimidating, over the top Black. It doesn't. I don't know.
Is the mom of your kids a Black woman?
No, she's white.
Oh. Have you ever dated any Black women?
I have, when I was younger, a lot younger. And I'll be honest, what ended up happening, I don't know if you have this experience, what ended up happening is they're fine, they're great, but they have family members, some rough family members that I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to deal with that, you know? So kind of shied away from it.
One of the Black girls I dated, her dad owned a bank.
Okay.
One of the Black girls I dated was a model. I never even met her family. She was a girl I dated in college. She was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I lived in this dorm. It wasn't a dorm, but it was like a dorm setting. It was an apartment complex with like 100 apartments, and it was all just like new students there. I transferred there, and like on the first day, she came over to my apartment, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Chantel," and we were talking, and she was like a foot taller than me. And I didn't know what the fuck to say to her, right? And then she came over the next day and brought me a picture, like you know, like this is in, I don't know, the 90s. And she brought me a picture, and it was her in a bathing suit. And she said, "I'm a model. Do you want this picture?" I was just like, no one had ever done anything. Anyway,
was she blind?
No, she wasn't blind. That's a fair question. But then she ended up being my movie buddy. She would just come over 2 or 3 nights a week and watch movies with me. God, she was fucking great. And then there was this other girl, though. Her name was, God, I can't remember her name. I was 19 or 20, and she lived in the fucking craziest neighborhood ever, where like I couldn't park in front of her house. She lived in the projects in San Francisco. I'm trying to remember what they're called. It's in South San Francisco. Someone maybe will say it in the comments. And her life was so fucked up. And so I would drive to her house and I could knock on the door, but then I couldn't take my eyes off my car. Like she had to come outside and then we had to leave, or else people would rob my shit. And I got destroyed for being white in that neighborhood, or Armenian. Just destroyed.
You think either of them dated you because you were white or Armenian?
You know what's crazy? I went to a club in I never went to clubs. I went to a club in San Francisco. It was like 90% black people. And my friends just sat there and drank and watched. And I went out on the floor and danced with this girl like a fucking idiot. And we ended up becoming friends. She was a trip. I'm going to tell you, she was so hood rat. She was a trip. She was crazy paranoid. She couldn't get settled. You know, like obviously some bad shit had happened to her. I think what ended up happening, I think I dated her for like almost a year. And it was a bizarre. I had lived such a carefree, easy life, and her life was so hard. And I think she ended up going to the Navy. God, what's Hunter's Point? Hunter's Point. That's the name of the fucking neighborhood for anyone who knows the Bay Area. It is fucking scary over there. Like really scary. Like you know, like every other like house, burnt out houses and shit.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's like
for sure,
fucked up stuff, dude. Like
what's really wild is where the girlfriend lives is on east side of Milwaukee, super hipster area. But you go 2 blocks west, and it's the same thing: burnt houses, terrible ghettos. It's nuts, actually. Is that how Hunter's Point was? Like it's nice, and then all of a sudden, crazy.
No, Hunter's Point was all bad because it was all Section 8 housing. It was all Section 8 housing. It was bad. Everyone there was on food stamps. No one worked. Everyone was just outside. It was basic. It was bad. But Oakland's like that. Like people living in $2 million homes, and then right next door is a crack house with fucking dudes slanging guns, and Oakland's crazy.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I will say, like I was talking about, not everything is bad. Well, I just sold my house. I got like 3 more days until it closes, so I'm trying to get everything done. She came over the other night. The last thing I had to do was clean the inside of my refrigerator because it got a little messy over the years.
Yeah.
She spent like an hour and a half wiping the whole damn thing down. Like it looks brand new. So I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it's like people are like, well, why don't you just move on? Why don't you just find someone else? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, maybe down the line, we'll see. But she's doing a lot of the right things. And
where are you moving? Where are you moving?
A little further. I'll stay in the Milwaukee area, but probably just a little further west.
Excuse me, you don't have a place yet?
No, I'm gonna go with my parents live a couple miles away. I hate to do it to them because, I mean, who wants their 38-year-old son shacking up with them? But I'm gonna go with them for a little bit, and I've been talking with other places of buying.
Your parents are stoked you're coming back. Are you kidding?
I know they are. That's just me, Jack. I'm just I've been better than my parents since I was 18 years old, 20 years, and but yeah, they're super happy. Their grandkids will be there and everything. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, have your parents met your girlfriend?
Hell no. That's going to be a very, if this lasts, it's going to be a very interesting. My parents, my dad's black and mom's white, and they're hardcore Republicans. I mean, hardcore. And that's going to be a very interesting meet.
Your dad is black and your mom is white, and your parents are hardcore Republicans?
Hardcore. Like, it's hard to have a conversation with them.
Like, they don't accept pedophiles at all.
Well, no one should accept pedophiles.
I know. That was a subtle dig at Democrats.
Oh, yeah. No, they don't like, they don't gay people. They don't like gay people. They don't, they're really hardcore. They're good people.
So they're religious? They're religious people.
Extremely religious Republicans.
Okay.
Great people, but very close-minded. And when they meet somebody who doesn't think like them, it doesn't always go over that well. So I told Meredith, if it happens, just to be prepared to see some shit you probably haven't seen before, or hear some shit you haven't heard before.
Boy, that's going to open a can of worms.
Oh my God, yeah. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. But yeah, appreciate you letting me ramble.
All right, you didn't ramble at all. Thank you for the update.
All right.
Okay.
All right, talk to you later, sir.
Bye-bye. I'm glad someone calls into the show. What's going on with I haven't heard from Kanye in a while. What is this? Kanye clip. What is this? Oh. I wonder if this is true. Kanye's back with Adidas. Caller, hi.
Hey, good morning, Sevy.
Hey, good morning.
Mad Marv.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Marv?
Hey, sorry, if I lose you, I'm on my way to a haircut. I live in a small town. I gotta go like 30 miles for a haircut.
What state?
So, Pennsylvania.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Western PA. Hey, anyway, I meant to send you this clip. I don't know if I did. I wanted to leave some commentary, but it was like, I didn't have time for it. But it's this clip of they're interviewing these like 5 or 6 year olds, and there's a white doll on the table and a black doll on the table.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and I was like, this is the biggest mind trip that you could do to a child.
Uh-huh.
They put this question in front of them. Which one of these is the evil one?
Yeah.
Which one is the good
right
one?
there? Right there, it's flawed, right? Right there, the fucking whole study is flawed. Yep. Okay, go on.
Yeah, right. And what they should be asking the child is, hey, which one of these dolls do you want to play with? Like, that'd be a reasonable question. But they start with, hey, which one of these is the evil one? And then what makes it even worse is they go, so which one of these looks more like you? So, naturally, we go to darkness and light. So you're just going to default. That's human instinct. You're going to default to the darker creature being the evil one if you have to choose yes or no. Now, a kid's not going to look at that and go, excuse me, that's a false dichotomy. You cannot put those two things against each other. They're not going to see that. They're 5 or 6 years old. You're trapping that kid in a worldview that will crush them for the rest of their life. And they don't see that. They're manipulating these kids to prove a point.
Hey, dude, it's the exact same thing. They ask a room full of white people, would you want to be black?
Yeah. Hey,
and no one chooses that. Hey, how about you fill a room full of white people and ask them, would you rather be black or Asian, or would you rather be black or Indian? Or why don't you fill a room full with black people and ask them, would you rather be white or black? The whole thing is it's fucking psyop shit. It's just idiot.
Would you rather be a black man in America or a black man in Africa?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Right. You would not have wanted to be me on the Mombasa Nairobi highway. When I was trapped there, you would not want to be a white guy. That was a fucking bizarre experience. How about this? How about putting a doll of Michael Jordan or a doll of who's that midget from the white midget from who are those funny guys on MTV in the 90s, and they would like blow up bathrooms and shit would fly all over them. Jackass. Would you rather be, it's like a doll of that midget from Jackass or a doll of Michael Jordan, and ask him which one would you rather be? I mean, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yet people fall for it. And yet people fall for it all the time.
Yeah, they don't think. It's just pushed on them so much. Hey, but real quick, just to give you a little backstory of who I am or where I was born in the Congo, so used to be Zaire.
Okay.
I grew up. I'm 40 now. I grew up most of my life in Western PA, small town. I have never, outside of elementary school, where like kids are just looking at differences, I've never experienced racism outside of that. My whole adult life has been just perfect.
And are you black,
in terms
dude?
of that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm African. I'm actually African American. African Italian, but whatever.
Why did you how did you end up in the States?
My father was in the Peace Corps. He went over to serve in my mother's village. Saw my mother, gave her father a dowry. 2 weeks later, they were married, and 2 years later, my brother was born. Then myself. Yeah.
Did he stay there in the in the Congo?
Yeah, stayed until he got sick with malaria, and then we came to the U.S. and that's how I ended up in Western PA.
And how old were you when you came to the States?
I was just shy of 2 years old, so really no memories over there. My brother had a lot more memories. He could speak the languages and all of that. Yeah. You
have like almost like not a strong Southern accent. You don't have a draw, but you.
No, it's called Pennsyltucky.
Okay.
Yeah. People from Western PA have a little bit of a draw that people are like, "Are you Southern?" I don't know. So we just call it Pennsyltucky.
Yeah, you sound like this stereotypical, like really nice person. You have a very like welcoming voice. Does your brother sound like you, or does he have an accent?
No, we sound the same. My mother has her full-on African accent, which we never acknowledged as kids. It was just what we knew until somebody else from the outside would point it out and be like, "Hey, where's your mother from?"
Does she sound English? Does she sound like English?
No. From the Congo. So Zaire is right on. I'm from Kinshasa, right on the equator.
Oh, okay. Because the Kenyans sound like the Kenyans over there when they speak English. They sound like they're speaking like proper like.
No, when you think of a typical African accent, you're going to think of my mother. Yeah.
Yeah. What a trip. Have you been back there?
No, my mother went back in mid-90s to bury her father, but she's one of 8 children. I have a cousin in the U.S. We can't go back because of the civil unrest. You know, we're not familiar with the territory, so if we went back, we get eaten a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that my mother and my one cousin can navigate, but I'm not up to that task yet without a guide and a lot of finances. When you go to a third world nation where your family resides, you bring gifts. So, you know, I can't just go with like, all right, I got enough money scrapped together so I can do this thing with my family. No, I got to be able to give them stuff and bestow a bunch of kindness upon them. Yeah.
Matt Brown says he sounds like Eddie Murphy. Jake Chapman says, does he drink umbongo? What's that? What's umbongo?
I have no idea what umbongo is. No, but fufu, I'm sure y'all are familiar with fufu.
I'm not.
Different aspects. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. The way that the Asians like rice, we like our fufu. It's just a starch.
My dad is born and raised in Lebanon, and he has a strong Middle Eastern accent, and I can't hear it, right? But I remember being a kid, and friends would come over, and they would say the same thing. Hey, where's your dad from? And I'd be like, Lebanon. How do you know? They're like, dude, he's got his accent stronger than shit. But I can't hear him.
Yeah, the first time I realized my father was white was I was sitting on a playset waiting for like a parent-teacher conference. I think I was in 2nd grade. And he comes walking in. I'm so excited to tell my buddy, my best friend at the time, I was like, hey, there's my dad. He goes, no, it's not. I said, what do you mean? That's my dad right there. He goes, stop lying to me. I said, why do you think I'm lying to you? He says, because he's white. And all of a sudden, my world changed. I had no idea.
Dude, how old were you? That is a great story. How old were you?
Yeah, I was probably 8 years old. 7 or 8, yeah.
Holy shit, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's the way you should find out, by the way. No one needs to talk to you about it beforehand.
No, we're just people. Like my identity, like it's crazy. I always thought about this. Like if somebody asked me, do you identify as black? What my response would be, what do you mean, as a color? Do I identify as a color?
Right.
What do you mean by black?
Right.
Like, tell me what that means, and then I'll tell you whether or not I identify by that. But you're probably trying to tell me you know, if I'm street or thug or listen to rap music or whatever. Like, that's not the culture I grew up in. Yeah, I mean, everybody grew up listening to rap music, but like that whole street culture, that ain't me. I'm country.
How old are
I'm
you?
all right with that.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
It's
I'm
kind
40.
of, it's, and that's the thing. That right there is the thing. There really is no such thing as black other than culture.
Yeah.
And so, and that culture is not there's some components of it that are fucking dangerous. The pants sagging, the stealing, the swearing, how they treat women, but it has nothing. You're right. It has absolutely nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's a fucking culture.
Yeah.
It's like that's what's so crazy. We know tons of fucking white kids that are fucking black.
Oh, hey, I got a great one for you. A great one for you. I've been married for 20 years. Yeah. When I proposed to my wife, my girlfriend at the time, I proposed to her and told everybody I was getting married. So what we used to do was my father being in the Peace Corps and his group of guys, like 8 or 12 of them, all married Congolese women. So they all came back to the Western or Eastern United States, New England states, and that would be our family reunion. So all these white guys married to black women, we'd all get together about every 2 years, and that'd be our family reunion. So we had no black family outside of that. So that was a big deal. So my mother, she's super excited for me. She starts calling up everybody and telling them, hey, my son's getting married, whatever. And one of my aunties gets me on the phone and says, hey, is this woman you're marrying a black woman or a white woman? I said, oh, she's black. She goes, okay, put your mother back on the phone. And then they get back on the phone and she is like cursing her out in Swahili. And I don't know Swahili. So I'm like, they get off the phone. My mother's here. I was like, hey, what's up? She says, she was mad because she wants you to marry a white woman so that your life would be easier in the United States. She doesn't trust these black women in the U.S. Yeah.
Because of the stereotype.
Because of the culture.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
where did you meet your wife at?
College.
Is she born in the States?
Yeah, she's from inner city DC. So it's a trip for her being in the country. She loves the country.
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
But-
Here's the thing: no matter anyone
she's
can say
liberal.
they hate the country, but you come to the country for a month and decompress, and you're never going back.
Exactly.
Hey, you said your wife's liberal.
Yep.
How does that work?
20 years. 20 years is how it works. We grind it out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't talk a whole lot of politics. I talk a little bit of philosophy to get her to change her perception.
How about church? Do you guys go to church?
Yeah, we go to church. So I can always point her back to the Bible and say, hey.
How do Democrats reconcile the Word of God with what their ideology is? Like specifically,
they ignore.
Oh, okay.
They ignore the Word of God. Not that my wife does. I can always point her back to that, and she'll go, okay. I'm a little emotional about this thing. She's a reasonable person. So, but to the liberals' credit, and I believe you said this before. Everybody wants the same thing. They want safe communities. They want good paying jobs. Right. So it's just like you give them a little bit of
for their
grace.
children. They think that they think they're helping their children. I know it's crazy. I know that they really do think that they're helping their children. I'm open-minded. I'm not going to pigeonhole my kid.
Liberals are just caught up in the emotional view of the world, where the rest of us are trying to find some logic and some reason to work through things and put our emotions to the side. Emotions, they come and go, right? I mean, you think about the first girl that you ever liked, and one of your friends go, hey, have you noticed that mole on the side of her face? All of a sudden, you don't like her anymore. Like it's a superficial thing, but our emotions are just as superficial. So I try to get away from the emotional thing and lead them rather than let my emotions lead me and just try to go through logic. But I tell you, I'm no good. Sometimes the emotional things get in the way, but
Marv,
yeah, I'm learning still.
I am truly a man who had a plan that if my house was ever broken into, that me and my girlfriend would sneak out the window and go to a restaurant and eat, and that they could steal whatever they want. That was I had that plan. Now,
yeah,
I don't even know how it happened, but if I hear a sound at my house, I will get my gun and I will fucking walk into the other room ready to fucking blast something down, because I have 3 kids in the house and nothing can come in there when the light after. It's just crazy. I don't know what happened. It's just it went from like I just don't. I guess I lost like I don't have compassion for I have zero tolerance for like pedophiles and for sexualizing kids, and it's just weird how that happened. Maybe I am less tolerant. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back, but I can rationalize it because I'm here to protect kids. So
yeah, you either permit it or promote it.
Yeah, there's no homeostasis. Right? I know that's hard for people. Wow, that's powerful what you said. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, well,
yeah, when you have kids, there is no homeostasis like that. You can't be like, well, it's okay that there's some pedophiles over there. They're not bothering me. It's not like that. It's
not like not at all.
No,
not at all.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to take up any more of your time. That last caller was cool. He took up a lot of time. I feel like I'm on the brink there. So I appreciate you, Sevan. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Bye. I don't think the world. I think that the impact that black men, gay women, black women can have on the world is tenfold. Unfortunately, this is as racist as I can. I guess this just means I'm racist. They can have an impact on the world that's socially 1,000 times more beneficial than any white person. Like some of these people have to fucking stand up and just start say smart shit like Jeremy and Marv say, and it's insane, or like Garrett Clinton. Like they're gonna have to be gay people who just fucking put their foot down and don't tolerate this blending of these, conflating of these someone's sexual orientation versus a mental illness, or the fact that black actually means anything other than your skin color. Like people gonna have to put their foot down, and they're gonna have to say some like hard shit. Like, yeah, the black culture is fucked up. Like, you know, white trash culture is fucked up. Feeding your kids Mountain Dew when they're born, and putting them in front of a TV. It's horrible, and there's some black culture needs to be just either thrown away or a total fucking revamp. And by black culture, I mean American black culture. Yeah, it's just fucked up. It's not safe. No one's thriving in that culture or flourishing or like. There are so many dangers in the world that are just inherent to just being alive in the world, being stung by a beehive, getting bit by your neighbor's dog, a car getting a flat tire and swerving off the road and running you over. Those are things I'm not trying to get rid of those things. I'm not suggesting we kill every bee on the planet. Saying we fucking close the fucking border and stop letting fentanyl in, and have a zero tolerance policy for people driving while high on fentanyl. Period. Done. Scoop them all up. 7:34 a.m. Andrew Hiller's coming to town today. We need weekly call-ins from Marv. I know. He's good, right? Yeah, hood mentality. Maybe that's better than yeah, Marv was great. A hood mentality is maybe better than calling it black culture. Maybe black culture is just too loaded already. Someone will think it's like racist. Yeah, Bruce Wayne, 2 great calls in a row. I know, and I was just pouting that no one calls in, and I could get slapped around a little bit. It was good. Jake Chapman, I was explaining to my kids how only 100 years ago people died from infections in small cuts. I couldn't. By the way, I don't agree with the premise that that Jeremy is desperate or doing the wrong thing by staying with this girl. I think it's a hero's work. I love what he's doing, and he likes her, and he's up for it. I love it. So it looks like I don't know if you guys remember, but it looked Kanye was having all sorts of problems, right? I think he said something like he liked Hitler or something, and so he got booted from all of these sponsors. And it looks like this is Adidas. Ye and Adidas agree to resume selling Yeezy products. And this guy, Gordon Ryan, is a famous, people say he's the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner on planet Earth right now. I think that's undisputed too. I don't think there's anyone who's like, that's not true. I think like everyone knows Gordon King Ryan. Yeah. I'm pretty sure like there's no dude in Brazil or Japan or someone who's saying like, hey, that's not true. But his Instagram account's pretty hard. He goes hard in the paint. I'll read to you what he says here back on this. Let's see. If those of you who haven't ever heard from him before, actually, let's hear from him first. Here we go. Let's see what he has to say. Here we go.
What's up, everybody? So I have some news about the website and everything. And there's an issue that is unresolved for me as of right now, but I have access to the website. I have access to
this is his shit got hacked. I think. Sorry, this is irrelevant. Let me just read this to you, just so you know who Gordon Ryan is. Okay, most people and almost everyone who supports these stupid woke ideologies all stand for something and always want to take some supposed moral high ground until the second they start losing money. The second revenue takes a hit, they change their tone. Individuals do it, brands do it. The NBA did it. They don't care about anything but money. This is the worst kind of pathetic sellout you can be. Be someone or something who stands for nothing. Someone or something who tries to please everyone. It doesn't matter what you believe, even if it's insane to most. If you believe in something and stand to those beliefs, no matter what, you garner more respect in the long run than these weak sellouts. And I don't know if he's taking a shot at Yeezy for signing back up with them. But this guy stands by his guns. I think he's had his account shut down before too. This guy's as red-pilled as they get. Wow, what is this?
Are these really for Gordon Ryan? Are these really for Gordon Ryan?
That chick's had too much work on her. Hey, that would be cool if this became a trend.
Are these really for Gordon Ryan?
Girls just making posts holding flip-flops in front of their torso.
Are these really for Gordon Ryan?
Cool. King Gordon Ryan. He gets sick a lot too. I think he's got some sort of ailment, so he doesn't get to like. He's not as active as I think he should be or could be. It used to be, some of you may not remember this, but it used to be like inappropriate, like for a news anchor or a public figure to talk about their sexual beliefs or activities, regardless if they didn't matter, like whether they were straight or not straight. Like you just didn't talk about it. Like there was a news anchor, Walter Cronkite. Like he never talked about like whether he was gay or straight, or Dan Rather, or like you didn't know any of that stuff. They kept it professional. Breaking news, NBC reports that Biden administration will allow for the release of migrants at the border into the U.S. with no way of being able to track them, as Border Patrol and NGOs brace for the end of Title 42. Cities are declaring states of emergency. And then it says BP is overwhelmed, the Border Patrol. Border Patrol reports that the last 2 days has seen the largest border crossing in U.S. history, and over 1 million migrants are waiting to enter illegally. I want to tell you something for those of you who don't know numbers so good. You have to just always think that there's 300 million people in the United States. Just think of that. There's 300 million people in the United States. Someone's going to be like, well, there's really 350 or there's really 330. The thing is probably like 50 million of them are fucking under the age of 5, right? So just think there's 300 million people in the United States. Just think that. Those are the, and we have resources to sustain a lifestyle here that whatever you have in front of you as you look out up from your computer or your phone or where you're driving, that's the world that these 300 million people have sort of created. We're in a cycle of behavior and productivity and reaction that it makes this wherever you're at. Happen to be somewhere amazing. If now imagine if 1 million people came in, which they have in the last year, who don't speak your country's language, who come from 20 or 30 different countries, who we know nothing about, who have a totally different lifestyle than us, who are going to participate in the economy in a totally different way, possibly than we do. Good or bad, it's going to change shit dramatically. Shit is like it is going to be basically, I think in the entire Biden administration there'll be a shift in population of 1 million people, or 1% of the people. There'll probably be 3 million new people who come in. It will change the environment drastically. Yeah, look at Chuck Schumer told us in 2020 we are going to change America. Yeah. It will change America drastically. I want to try to give you some sort of example, but just imagine some things might get better. Some things might get worse. When I'm in California, if I go to see the doctor, it looks like it's changed things for the worse. Yeah, we're not a country. That one of the distinguishing characteristics of a country is that it has borders and that people can't come in and out. And so this isn't we're not behaving like a country now. And the repercussions of that will not be good for most of you. I just saw the city, I'll give you an example of this. I just saw, and some of you in the comments are going to be like, that's fucking bullshit. That's a crazy leap, Sevan. I don't know how you're making that logic. That's not my fault if you can't see the connection here. But you got shit like, you got shit happening in the city of Baltimore with the city suing Hyundai and Kia and blaming them for the cars being stolen because the cars are too easy to steal. There becomes this massive shift in personal responsibility and personal accountability. We have a government that is now supporting and defending lawlessness. I can't believe I just said that. It's bad. Something has gotten so ass backwards. How do people get in the UK though? You can't just, I don't understand how people, I understand how they get in the United States. They're just crossing this massive border. But how do they get in the UK? Sean Sullivan, this is all they need. This is all on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. They want to beg for federal martial law. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. What about the Marine? Hey, oh, man, I don't know if I want to get started on this subject. CK Kevin says, what about the Marine that took the dude down in the subway being charged with manslaughter? So I follow this Instagram account, and the Instagram account is called Black Culture. And it would make you so sad to see. It would make you so sad to see the comments about that guy. Instead of thanking that guy for cleaning up the subways, and for those of you who haven't ridden on the subways, they're fucking crazy. It's so bad. I told myself I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared to talk about that today. Not that like I would start crying or something, but like I could get really angry. Hey, did you guys see this? This is good. With Twitter, what Elon Musk wrote. This is so good. Let me share this with you. So those of you who don't know, Tucker Carlson basically made some sort of statement that he's coming to Twitter. Right? Well, listen what Elon writes in response. This is so good. On this platform, unlike the one-way street of broadcast, people are able to interact, critique, and refute whatever he or anyone may say. So that's cool, right? Like you're watching your TV over there, CBS or NBC or CNN or whatever, and there's no way to interact. I guess you could stand up on your couch and start yelling at the TV. But Twitter, like he explains, the phenomenon of this platform is that you can interact and critique. And of course, anything misleading will get community notes. I don't know what that means. I also want to be clear that we have not signed a deal of any kind whatsoever with Tucker Carlson. Tucker is subject to the same rules and rewards of all content creators. Rewards mean subscriptions and advertising revenue. Still working on software needed for the latter, which is a function of how many people subscribe and the advertising views associated with his content. I hope that many others, particularly from the left, and also will also choose to make content for this platform. Also choose to be content creators for this platform. Tucker's not going to Twitter because they gave him $1 billion deal like Spotify gave to Rogan. He's going there because it's like one of the. He thinks it's a good place for people to speak their mind. Hiller's therapist, Sevan, will you live stream switch to Twitter in the future? Live streams, will your live streams switch to Twitter? We're already on Twitter. We are on Twitter right now as we speak. On 2 stations. We're on the Sevan Podcast Twitter streaming live and on my personal Twitter account. We always have been. We've always been on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Always. We've always streamed to all of them live. So that's cool. It's just cool that I'm sure people on the left want to be like, oh, this is Elon and Tucker conspiring together and they're paying Tucker and blah, blah, blah. No, Tucker's just going over there. Rambler, Hiller's therapist, a.k.a. Trish. Is that true? Even 20 years ago, it was hairy. Rambler Subway was cool 20 years ago. I mean, it was still hairy. Not like it is now. But like if you rode the subway, you were going to see something crazy. Always. Every time I got on, I haven't ridden it a lot, maybe 500 times. Probably spent 6 months of my life in New York City, like aggregate. Dude. I was probably like directly punked on there at least 20 times. And by directly punked, I mean like me just sitting there minding my own business and someone walking up to me and being like, what the fuck are you looking at? Want me to slit your throat? And then another, 400 incidents of just weird shit. And imagine if people have done shit like that to me 20 times, I've also seen them do it to other people 100 times. The New York subway is fucking batshit crazy. Hey, this is going to be, some of you aren't going to believe this, but this is true, and people know this. The New York subway is a scene where literally a woman could be on that subway and be being raped, and the rest of the other passengers would just look the other way. And that's why for those of us who've experienced that kind of crazy shit on the subway, that's why when you see someone like this guy choke someone out who has been arrested 40 times for doing dumb shit on the subway, you're like, yeah, good, finally. I'm waiting for someone to be called bullshit in the comments. Look, no one is, because you can't, because it's fucking crazy. And here's another thing: the people in New York, their whole baseline has changed. So like shit like that, they don't think it's crazy. Like if someone were sitting there shooting up drugs in the back of the train with their baby sitting next to them, like for those people, they don't. They're a guy who rides the subway every day might not even be fazed by that. No good deed goes unpunished. Yeah. Did Rittenhouse is that the guy's name? Rittenhouse, the guy who shot the three maniacs in was that Ferguson? Where was that? What you remember that guy Rittenhouse, the guy with the AK, and he killed the pedophile and killed someone else or shot someone else who was trying to hit him with a skateboard and then shot someone else who had a gun pointed at him. Did that guy end up getting rich? I want to say he got filthy rich from CNN, like over $100 million. Jay Hartle, he's rich now. Oh, Kenosha. Thank you. That story is kind of, I mean, it's not cool that people were killed, but that story is kind of fun to tell, right? White guy goes into black riots, kills 3 white dudes, and now is called racist, even though he killed 3 white dudes. And one of the dudes he killed was a guy who sodomized a dozen kids between the age of 15 and 17 and was running down the street yelling, "Nigga, I want to kill niggas." And then a white dude shoots that white dude, but he's racist, even though he killed the guy screaming that, who was who was released from jail the day before as a pedophile, or that evening. I mean, the whole fucking thing is nuts, right? Yeah, think about that. The guy got out of fucking jail for sodomizing a dozen kids between the age of 5 and 17, boys. He's white as shit. He's a blonde-haired surfer-looking dude running down the streets in Kenosha, screaming, "I hate niggas," and he gets shot by another white dude. And then that white dude is being charged of racism, even though he killed the pedophile racist white dude. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going? Hey, Democrats, it's the only person defending that blonde-haired surfer dude is Democrats. And that's the part. That's where this sort of starts to become just easy to start just to categorize shit. Even the guy, the pedophile yelling, "I hate niggas," he was a Democrat. Adam Blakeslee, yes, nuttier than squirrel shit. Yeah, the whole thing. The View paid Rittenhouse $22 million. Thank God. Amen. Hey, everyone who's black and everyone who has kids should write Rittenhouse a check. Nothing big, like $1, just like $1. All black people and all. He killed a guy who thinks it's okay to run down the street and scream racist terms, and he killed a pedophile, sodomite. This isn't like speculation. This isn't a fucking fairy tale. This happened. And then the Democrats rallied their people together to go after this dude. It's all right. I think speaking of very logical people, I'm trying to get Greg Glassman to come back on Saturday. I tried to get him to come on Sunday, but he's doing some Mother's Day stuff. And he wants to come on. Then he suggested Monday. And Monday, I'm driving back to the Bay Area to Santa Cruz. The other duty shot testified in court. Thank God this guy was honest that he had a gun. Rittenhouse was on the ground with his gun not pointed at him, and that this guy then pointed his gun at Rittenhouse, and then Rittenhouse shot him. It's like, okay. You walked up on a man with a gun and pointed your gun at him? Look at Travis. No more Collins. Greg needs to come on video or in person. Travis is like the guy, he's dry humped his girlfriend like 1,300 times. And he's like, enough of this. I will not dry hump you anymore. I'm definitely putting my penis inside of you. And then the girl's like, no. And he's like, all right, 1,301 dry humps. Fine. Sean Sullivan, but understand this, that in the last days there will, oh, this is some biblical shit. Great. I hate this stuff. This stuff scares me. Sean Sullivan, but understand this, that in the last days there will come times of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. I'm grateful there's poop bags. I'm grateful my wife always carries poop bags. Sevi and Greg and Dave come in studio at the same time. Jake Chapman, the thing is this, Sean. Yeah, straighten Sean out. Sean's scaring me. That has happened repeatedly for the last 2,000 years. Jan Clark, in response to me liking that my wife carries poop bags in case you need to shit in the van. I mean, there's for instance. Heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Timothy. Is there really a book in the Bible called Timothy? There's a dude named Timothy. Mike Meyer, the Rittenhouse case was a shining example of the woke mob. They were calling for an 18-year-old's head because of politics, even when it was clear case of self-defense. Yeah, you know what's interesting too is one of the things about so how the Nazis did it and how the KKK did it is in this book, the Big Lie by Dinesh D'Souza. One of the ways they explain it is the mob starts operating a state within a state, and that I think Mike just explained that pretty well. There becomes a state within the state. And the Rittenhouse case was a shining example of the woke mob. The woke mob is that state within a state. That's what the KKK was. And just so you know, I can't remember what the number of states was, but the KKK had killed more. Listen, this is some kind of manipulative shit I'm about to say. The KKK had lynched more white people. No. Let me rephrase that. The KKK had lynched more. Fuck, how did they word it? It was some manipulative shit. The KKK had lynched more black people than white people, but the KKK had lynched more white people in more states. Meaning if there were 50 states, I think it was like 43 of them had lynchings with white people, and only like 27 had lynchings with black people. So no one get that confused either. That's the same thing about the slavery. People get that shit confused. You have to know why they were enslaving the black people. It was to help. It was to help them, and you have to also understand that they were attempting to enslave white people too, the white northern farmers. Another thing too that I've been reading about is Abraham Lincoln was not. He did not, although he wanted to end slavery, he did not see melanated people as equal. From what I'm reading, he did not. He did not want to give them equal rights. Milos Popovic, holy smokes, Sevi, I just came back from New York after being there for a week. The amount of wokeness is insane. Yeah, insane, right? That's the thing too. If you've never been in one of these hives, you cannot even imagine. It is literally like Zombieville. That's why when I say, like, if you have never been to Portland and you think I'm joking when I say it's Zombieville, it actually, there's people like walking around like in the movies. It's like that. It's like that. And they'll bite you and they have like open sores and it's like that. You don't think that's true about Abraham Lincoln? I'm reading that book by Sean Spencer Page. It's called Black Snowflake. I'd be curious to see what you think about it, Jeremy. I'm listening to it. I'm listening to it on audio. Hey, every Starbucks in California has the token tranny, transgender. Every single one. At least every single one I've been into. Token tranny. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. It's going to be a crazy week. We have a couple more fun days of live call-in shows, and then we're going to have like 6 weeks of games and guests. It's going to be wild. I'm pumped. I'm excited to get back into the swing of things, get back into my ritual. And Mike Poolboy says, and that's why I love Starbucks. Manny, thank you. 1999. I feel like I haven't seen one of those in a while. Games content's going to be wild. Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys too. Is the thumb coming back on the show? Of course. What else would he do with his life? I go back home on Monday morning early. I'll leave and hopefully get the ball rolling. All right, guys. We'll see you guys soon, tomorrow morning. The latest I would see you guys is tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.